afternoon. Being that our 5 o'clock has arrived, the meeting is Public Safety and Licensing Committee meeting is officially in order. Our first order of business is the approval of the minutes from our last meeting, July 15, 2026. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Alder Keller, I'll let the clerk's office start off.
Item 0652-26, communication for discussion and possible action on the loitering ordinance fee schedule and possible signage with RPD and the Attorney's Office.
Alder Kelly, would you like to speak to this item?
This is just kind of a continuation of the conversation that we had at our last meeting. So I put this on the agenda just so we could start the discussion about some possible changes, maybe beefing up the ordinance a little bit and comparing them to surrounding municipalities.
Okay.
I was going to introduce you, but go ahead.
All right.
Our guest from the Attorney's Office to speak on this item.
Thank you. My name is Robin Zivakowski. I'm one of the assistant city attorneys in the city attorney's office. I serve as one of the prosecutors for the city of Racine. I have been a prosecutor my entire legal career, and that's only 12 and a half years. 5 of those I spent prosecuting cases for the state, but RPD's cases on a criminal level. That was 5 years and 7 and a half years now here at the city attorney's office doing civil cases, specifically ordinance violations. So I have been exposed to, I don't think how many zeros to put on here, but I'm going to go with thousands of different cases, whether that's through prosecution, other litigation, or just reviewing them. And I am not telling you that because I'm up here trying to toot my own horn. It does not make me special. I am telling you that so that you can see where I'm coming from and that I'm going to try to gather and apply that experience to the issue that I believe I'm here for and that the city is having, and that is crowd control, specifically loitering. But before I go any further, I just want to talk about those many, many instances in those cases that I've been exposed to. I have always been exposed to those cases from the safety of my own office and from the safety of the courtroom, and I have always been exposed to them on paper. So I am saying that because RPD has responded to each of those instances that I am talking about. They have responded in person. They've had to investigate that incident, or I would not have seen it, and they are the ones who have absorbed all of the dangerousness and the threats. So I am talking about this from my position, and I am not speaking for them. Obviously, mine is a lot safer and a lot more comfortable. So I will just ask you to keep that in mind as we talk about crowds. So crowds, that's a good segue into loitering. So it's my understanding that the issue here is that there are large crowds of people at night. They're congregating private property, public property, usually around bars, and it's the question is, what can we do about that? And I can tell you that the city has a couple different tools in its arsenal to try to address that. None of them are perfect, and none of the tools contemplate casting a wide net around that entire group and citing everybody. That just is not what happens. I could not prosecute a case like that. A judge could not decide a case. So let's just specifically start with the loitering ordinance, and we'll go there, and I want to just read it so that we're on the same page here. No person shall loiter, wander.
Excuse me, please. Thank you.
No person shall loiter, loaf, wander, stand, or remain idle. Those are all just different synonyms for loitering. So basically hang about, stand about, mill about, either alone or in concert with others in a public place. We got to make sure that we're talking about a public place as opposed to a private place. So as to obstruct any public street, highway, sidewalk, or any other public place or building by hindering or impeding or intending to hinder or impede the free and uninterrupted passage of vehicles or pedestrians in such a manner that it is reasonable to believe will cause a threat to public safety or a breach of the peace. That's a lot to say, so I think when we talk about the loitering ordinance, it can be broken down into 3 pieces. And one If you're going to cite somebody for loitering, you're gonna have to show that they were loitering, which is pretty easy, again, that's just standing around, but also that they are obstructing some type of public thoroughfare, and 3, that they're doing so causing or tending to cause some type of a breach of the peace or a threat to public safety. So what this is doing, it is forbidding behavior that is over and above just standing around. There has to be an element to it. You know, imagine, you know, going up, talking to somebody and saying, hey, you know, you're under arrest for standing there. And there's got to be something a little bit more to that. So that is our loitering ordinance. Are there any questions about the ordinance itself or the language that's there?
I would ask the committee first.
Do you want me to talk a little bit more how that works? I can say that when it comes to the loitering ordinance here, the city's loitering ordinance, it does have, it is very broad. It doesn't limit it to certain types or outside certain types of businesses. It doesn't state exactly what the behavior has to be. It doesn't say they have to try to be, you know, soliciting for something. It does not confine the behavior. It is very broad. So that gives an officer a lot of discretion as to how it can be applied. I know that there are other ordinances out there that do restrict, and when a citation does come to me, I have to be able to identify the person who was served with that citation, and I have to be able to prove what they did that actually tripped the trigger of any type of prohibited behavior here being loitering. And so that's, if there is a restriction as to the type of place where where loitering would be banned, that just adds one extra element that I have to prove in a case, whereas this is very, very broad. It's basically any public space and any type of threat. And it doesn't even have to be an actual threat, it has to be the threat of what might happen. So again, it is very broad. So I just want to make sure that we're not just, you guys are not asking about the prowling ordinance. It's a completely different animal, but just specifically the loitering. Yes?
Yes, the last statement you made about the crowding ordinance, you said those are 2 different items, even though if I were using a Venn diagram, you would see some overlapping. And I say that to say this, that I'm looking at modeling different behavior, both quantitatively and qualitatively. So we can predict if after people have been socializing at night, there's 100 people out hanging around aimlessly in a public space, we can have, of course, we can say you can't stand there, you got to move on. But what about when you get a case where time after time that behavior is causing a lot of criminal activities, public endangerment, safety, those kinds of things?
Okay, so a couple things. So are you saying that them standing around leads to those
if 100 people are hanging out every night at a bar, or any public space, I should say, and we know that there's always some issues with criminal behavior, someone's getting hurt. So we have to, something has to happen, or how?
There just has to be an articulation of a threat to public safety. There also has to be a threat or it says here, or a breach of the peace. So the disturbance that, you know, if one person is talking to another person, that's one thing. But then you add 2, then 10, then 50, then you have 100 people. Now you have a disturbance. There's commotion, there's noise, there's, you know, music, there's whatever there may be there. You now have a disturbance. And going down to the next tool that's in the arsenal there would be an order from the police to disperse. They can say, hey, you need to move along. And then if that order, at that point being a lawful order to disperse is not obeyed, that's a violation of a different ordinance. It can also be obstructing an officer. So, but I think the key to that is that, the order is to everyone to leave, but the wrongdoer has to be pinpointed at one point, and that's the person that turns around and disobeys. So again, it's not casting that large net over a whole crowd. You'll be able to ID and prove each instance. So the bad eggs, let's just say, are the ones who would receive the citation for not dispersing and not obeying that order. And each of those people will be identified, and then we can see if they met the elements.
Thank you. Any other questions from the committee?
Donna?
This time, will our chief of police like this?
Sure.
Thank you.
Robin does such a nice job. I think he covers everything.
Thanks. Thank you, Robin.
Thank you.
I'll just be brief on this. Good evening. My name is Alex Ramirez. I'm the chief of police here for the city of Racine. Generally, in the warmer months, people like to get out and enjoy outdoor spaces. But there are a few areas in town, mainly on weekends, that large crowds and they gather. It's generally around the bar areas. For instance, right there over on Sixth Park. Every weekend, we get 10 squads down there. And you go out there, people do disperse, but unfortunately, those that don't like to leave often get arrested or get cited. So what City Attorney Robin was talking about is those type of things. We can point them out, they were blocking traffic, they were given police orders, and they decided not to leave. We have a few of those areas around town. So I think this ordinance is good. I think sometimes you might have to enhance it. I believe in fees to deter people from gathering in such a way that I think a stronger fee or a higher fee, and those are all set by different standards that would assist us. But the main thing we first try to do is for public safety, is to disperse a large crowd. I'll be more than willing to answer any questions.
I do have a question that actually might be for
The city attorney?
the city attorney, for Robin. Is signage needed that says no loitering for, now back over to, for law enforcement to pinpoint and, pick someone out?
No, absolutely not. You don't need a sign to say, hey, you can't commit homicide, hey, you can't do this. You don't need a sign to say, hey, no, you can't loiter. It's nice to have it there, and it's a good idea, and you to make it, known and remind people, but you absolutely do not need to have it, as long as the officer investigating the situation can meet the elements of the offense. Those were the three that we talked about, that they're loitering, that they are loitering, that they're obstructing, and that it's a potential to cause a breach of the peace or a safety issue, just like any other offense. And then just real quick, you had mentioned the fee. So there's a forfeiture that's associated with the offense, and the forfeiture, the bond amount, the amount that will actually spit out on the citation that's then handed to the person is $125. You add court cost to that, I think we're up to about $228.50. That bond amount, though, is what's on the ticket. If somebody wants to go and pay that citation, taking accountability or responsibility for what happened, they can pay that amount. As soon as a person pleads not guilty in municipal court, that bond amount actually will go away, and they are exposed to then the full spectrum of the penalty of ordinance, which is between $1 and $1,000. So it's a good idea to have that bond amount, the amount that comes out on the citation, to be, somewhere around a third or so of that spectrum, because then every case is different. There are some way more severe or more lenient, and when it comes to sentencing, then that gives our office the ability to argue aggravating and mitigating circumstances. So if somebody was not as, their behavior was a little less egregious, we can drop it down and obviously go the other direction as well, to hopefully deter that behavior for that person.
Thank you.
But,
Yes, sir.
so, and I apologize for being a couple minutes late. I don't usually attend these, but this loitering topic is one that's, I think, particularly salient right now. Is it that do we need a change in our ordinance, or do we need to apply the ordinance differently? Or, just sort of a perennial 10 squad cars at bar time thing doesn't seem like a normative thing that we just want to accept. Do we need to change the ordinance in some way, or does enforcement need to be different? And I know you talked about the three elements. I appreciate that. But what I'm just looking for, is it an application? Is it we have some tools that we maybe haven't been applying and we should? Or is it we need a change in the law to make things clearer, or?
I think the issue is that when it comes to a crowd, not everybody is misbehaving. And ordinances are designed to capture the actual wrongdoer, identify that person, and prosecute the person who did that act. So I think crowds just present that really difficult scenario. I don't think there is an answer. Our ordinance is very broad and can be applied. You just have to catch that person, threatening the public safety. What does that look like? And if you can pinpoint it, is it possible it's actually disorderly conduct? I mean, disorderly conduct has a wide net as well.
Mm-hmm.
It includes boisterous behavior that disrupts the public. It can be abusive, it can be violent, boisterous, profane. You hear people swear, and then there's otherwise disorderly behavior. It has a huge net as well. So that's another option, but again, you've got to grab the person. So, 100 people standing together, it's really difficult to say you can't stand there when people are just talking to each other and they're friends, and that it's hard to prosecute somebody in that position. And that's, I think, where the difficulty comes in. It's just all of them together brings that noise level up, even if everyone's law-abiding. It's a difficult animal. What I couldn't do is, get 50 tickets and all those people wait here and take their names. I would get to the element of the wrongdoing and be, gosh, you were just kind of standing there talking to your friends. That's the issue. It's not prosecution in groups, and that's the problem. So that is the heart of it. I think our ordinance is very broad. It can be applied to an infinite number of situations, which is great, as opposed to saying you can't loiter in front of bars, in front of public restrooms or something, or like picking specific places. Ours is everywhere that's public property, and it really just focuses on when does that behavior from that person rise to the level of tripping the trigger of.
Any thoughts on application versus
Especially when it comes to fines, that's something that can be looked at, but one of the things is that what is it that's causing people to gather, and what is it that's causing people to act disorderly? So we look at that area, we look at that location, it's some businesses, what is it that's drawing people in? Then we focus, if we say it is a business, then we focus on that business. What can business owners do to change the behavior of people? We've been successful in certain areas of this where the behavior has changed, but we use all our tools, what we can. One of the things is looking at the location. What is it that draws people there? And you have to have the disorderly behavior. Not just people gathering, it's not an issue itself. It's when the people start obstructing and they don't leave because of some sort of disorderly behavior. But I think using other tools to say, okay, why are we getting drawn here? Why are we have so many resources? What is it? When we get to the bottom of this, work on that particular area to say, hey, maybe we can work with this there, work with these owners to disperse the crowds or to change the behavior.
Yes.
Thank you, Assistant City Attorney Robin. You mentioned, I'm thankful that you mentioned, like, just because there's a crowd doesn't mean that it's loitering or disorderly conduct. It has to be more to it. Because sometimes there's biases by seeing a bunch of folks that this means it's loitering, it's disorderly conduct. So thank you for mentioning that. That's important to be heard. For Chief, you mentioned one of the tools is reaching out to the business owners. What tool can we use to address the individuals that are actually causing the disturbances that keep on coming back to those establishments, instead of like going, because sometimes it's not the business owner, it's folks in their behaviors. And a business owner, some of them are not behavioral therapists and all of that. So that's not in their toolbox. If you can shed light, if possible, on how we can get individuals to be outstanding, law-abiding citizens while they're visiting establishments.
But I think there's always an expectation that most people are gonna behave no matter what. There are some individuals that, may have challenge or difficulty in it. Businesses do their thing, they run their businesses well, we do focus on them, they've come up with like a nuisance abatement plan. Normally what we do with businesses, go after using the nuisance ordinance. If they can come up with a plan that works, accepted by the police department, and everything is working, but yet you still got individuals that aren't behaving. So my hopes is that we always want voluntary compliance with human, the law. People just need to behave, respect each other, respect each other's property. Those that do not do that and cause a serpent, there are consequences. Sometimes that is getting a citation, or sometimes that is going to jail, or getting arrested and then go through the process of prosecution. But you want to deter that behavior. Some businesses do a good job doing that. Others do okay businesses, but sometimes it's the behavior outside that the business can't control, right? Because it's just human behavior.
To build on that, and you had mentioned the actual wrongdoer themselves, if they're coming back, regardless of what business. If it's private property, you have the option to cite for trespass, but the person has to know that they're not welcome. So it's, hey, you need to move along. If you come back again, we're going to issue a citation. I have seen countless cases where it is, hey, you come back, and then there's a, so that I've seen that many times, but that is an option for, hey, come back in, they've been forewarned, and that's the ticket. The other one is, if it is a big crowd and there's the order to disperse, there will be not obeying that order. So those are a couple options. But each situation is different, so it's easier said than done, but those are a couple tools.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
What were your thoughts on the different ordinances that I had shared? Looks like Milwaukee has, stepped their ordinance a little bit.
You had sent them just before the meeting, so to be honest, I skimmed them quickly. I wasn't able to go through them thoroughly. I think I just wasn't able to do that the day of. But, in skimming them, I feel like they have reduced theirs to certain places. Ours doesn't do that. It has a broad brush. I think they get into, and maybe I'm confusing the other one, it's a smaller town that you sent, was it Egger?
Yeah.
And I believe they have just over 1,000 people there, so what works for them may be completely different than for us. But I think they, just quickly, theirs limits it to places, and a little bit more of what kind of behavior, such as soliciting and such. So those were my thoughts. I just feel ours is broad in a good way.
Okay. The fee definitely could be increased. I don't know what the process is on increasing that, but, I mean, sometimes you have to feel a little pain to, curb your behavior, so.
That can be addressed in a couple ways. The bond amount is actually set by the municipal court judge. So the judge would have to decide he wants to change the amount that's on there and increase it from 125 to something else. And then, of course, the cost, fees, and surcharges are piled on top of that, which increases it exponentially. And then, again, if somebody does challenge the citation, we have the full spectrum. Again, that's just the amount that sits out on it.
If there are no other questions at this point, I would entertain a motion.
Since the rest of the members aren't here and we didn't get a chance to kind of fully discuss, I would be comfortable making a motion to defer it, to maybe have the discussion again at a future meeting.
Is there any objection?
I think it'd be good to get more comparison on what other communities are doing,
Yeah.
to see if there's.
Well, I have a motion.
Second.
All right, I won't skip the other part. Is any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Motion passes. Our next item.
Thank you very much.
Thank you both very much.
Hey, I'm sorry, I've never finished one of these before, but can we say anything at all about music?
Not at this time.
Okay.
That kind of meeting.
No.
But when you, if you signed up, when you get there, you can.
Okay.
Of course.
Wait, no.
To clarify, if you sign up for any item, you can speak on any item.
Okay.
You do need to sign in, and then they will call out your name. So any item you've already signed up for, you'll be called for. Any item that you wish to sign up for, you can sign up, and then we will hear what you have to say.
Thank you.
Item 0653-26, communication submitting a new application for a Class B retail fermented malt beverage and intoxicating liquor license for Marino's Hospitality Group doing business at Marino's Little Italy, located at 1238 Lathrop Avenue, Logan Marino, agent 13th District.
May the applicant come forward, please. Attorney Pompey.
If you stand at the
Right
podium.
here. Attorney Pompey will swear you in.
All right, if you could raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. And then if you could state your full name?
Logan Marino.
All right.
Mr. Marino, I understand that you're applying for an existing license, for a class of full liquor license.
Correct.
Could you start off by, I'm getting to your business plan that you've already filled out, but, could you, I'm gonna start out by asking you what percentage of your sales would you anticipate that will be carry-out?
Carry out. I mean, I have a pretty, estimate now, because we've been doing it, but I'm probably 15-20%.
And you'll have a full carry-out license, is that correct?
So
Or is it just beer and wine?
this is a full liquor license primarily used for in-person consumption on premises. Mr. Marino operates an Italian restaurant that is going to expand from just beer and wine to having a full selection of liquor on premises. So there is the ability to sell prepackaged off premises under these types of licenses, but the intention is for it to be consumed on premises.
Okay, thank you. Okay, leading into your business plan in terms of, I know you were here not too long ago.
Right.
But, update us on your operation, you know, things like hours of operation, employees, how you will have anticipated, public safety, safety of your customers, and helping be responsible and respectful for the citizens around your business.
Sure.
I know I said a lot, but,
Yeah,
you know,
hopefully I can get them all.
you've already lined it out.
Yeah. Well, we're going on 6 months. And throughout the whole time, we've had just beer and wine, and it's gone well. There is these customers, and a lot of my regulars I've got. I'm in a neighborhood, so a lot of regulars from this neighborhood, you know, they might have a little bit, you know, some type of mixed drink, and it's just kind of what they like, you know, and not that they haven't been okay with just beer and wine, you know, everybody's been fine, but I think it could just benefit more of those regulars. It's never, ever gonna turn into a bar. You know, I'm a restaurant. My hours are not gonna change with adding this, you know. I'm very strict on my hours. And I just want to be on the same, you know, same field. The full, you know, ability.
Any questions from the committee?
No.
Okay. I'm familiar with your restaurant in my district, and just for some historical information, you mentioned the people in the neighborhood, so they were used to going to the previous Italian restaurant, which had a full liquor license, so,
Yep.
you know, this is just the next step for you guys, so, yeah, I'm definitely in favor of that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sir?
So, Alder Pete asked you what percentage of your business was takeout. I assume, did you think he meant food takeout or alcohol takeout?
I thought you meant food.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I meant alcohol.
Just an important distinction, 'cause-
Yeah, thank you.
okay, thank you.
Of course.
Well, it was just, again, general idea, what percentage of your total gross sales would be alcohol? I'm sorry, carry out.
Carry out.
Mm-hmm.
Food?
Alcohol.
Oh, 0. You know, I don't really,
This license doesn't allow for that.
Okay.
all consumed in person.
Any other questions or concerns? Then none, at this time, we would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve?
There's-
Second.
Any objections? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Our next item, please.
Item 0654-26, communication submitting a change of agent application for a Class B retail fermented malt beverage and intoxicating liquor license for Vero's LLC, doing business as Vero International Cuisine, located at 211 6th Street, Howard Brown Jr., Agent, First District.
Thanks for coming up. And the attorney will swear you in.
All right, if you could raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. And then if you could state your full name?
My name's Howard Brown.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Brown, I know this is an existing business that you already have a liquor license, but you're requesting to change your agent.
Yes.
Okay. Please, pretty much the same question. Help us understand, as you're applying for the license, what experience you have, qualifications, and things of that nature, because you will be, as the agent, as you know, I'm sure you know well, that you are responsible for the activities on that premises. Now, if you've been there a while, still got your shirt, so I know you understand your business.
Yeah, so Vero's been around since like 2010 or so. We've been having multiple generations where we've been closed and reopened and whatnot. Right now, we're in one of those closure states, been hoping to reopen soon. So in the meantime, we had to change the agent because our old agent doesn't work with us anymore. So, you know, my qualifications to, you know, be an agent, I don't know what those qualifications are, but in the restaurant industry, you know, I like to operate a business with no, you know, let's say customers are getting over like too many drinks or something, you know, we would put a stop to that. You know, you know, once you seem like you cannot consume another beverage, like alcoholic beverage, then, you know, we wouldn't serve anything. So Vero's, we do close a little later, sometimes it's like 11 o'clock sometimes, and that's normally when we stop selling and serving alcohol. There's been cases where we are having an event that we would probably serve up into midnight, but we don't let things get out of hand. If it did, then we would, and if alcohol was the reason, we would stop serving the alcohol.
I noticed that you don't seem to have any problem with loitering or anything like that, but you're in the same general facility, so I think after being here a while, you understand why I'm asking you this question.
I had a comment on it. I understand all the frustration now. I've been downtown for quite a while, so I understand firsthand the frustration. You know, I meet the loiterers. I am not for or against it. I just had something to say about it. I understand it. I've heard it from multiple different people, business owners and everything. So, you know, I understand the problem and the issue, and, you know, I have some possible fixes because it doesn't seem like there's an actual fix because it's human behavior. So,
Haven't been there a while. What do you see any tools your neighbors could use?
to prevent loitering?
Yes, or to help prevent the problem.
I think that's something that's not preventable, you know, because it's not unlawful. Like,
No, I'm talking about when we have the problems with people hanging outside, not your place,
No.
but in general in that area.
What was your question about it again?
How do you feel about how to be controlled so that there's less problems in that area?
I think most of the problems happen in early hours, which I would consider it like past bar time, which is like 2 o'clock to 3, 2 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know law a lot to make any, you know, I don't really know what I'm talking about, but, you know, when I'm listening, I know if there's a curfew for kids, 18 and, you know, less. So I was, you know, I'm thinking, you know, there is no true answer for it, but if there was some type of large group curfew between a certain hour of like that hour time frame in the public space, then I don't know if you guys can do something like that can happen. but it'd be like some large group curfew in the space, in between the hours of 2:30, 3 o'clock, 4:30, you know, when no one is really out doing anything anyway, you know, and to be in a large group at that time, you know, it should really be in a large group at that time. But, you know, it's not unlawful to be in a large group, so it's the only way to prevent it is to have some type of, you know, curfew on it. You know, it works for the kids, it keeps the kids off the streets at night. So, you know, that was my thing for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll turn it over to the attorney of the police department. Any comments?
Nothing on the change of agent.
As far as our calls for service, I don't remember the last time we were
Thank you, Alderman Davis.
Thank you. Did you mention that are you open or closed at the moment?
So 211 it powers 209, which is our cafe. So we're not, we don't accept customers to sit down and eat in 211. Right now, we can't. We don't have a permit to do so. But it does, the kitchen to 211 powers our cafe. So I make, you know, food or whatever there and you know, because it is 209, it's an extension of the premises of 211.
Okay. And we're looking at the change agent for 211.
Mm-hmm.
So 211 hours are 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
9 hours at 10 a.m. 209 6th Street has those hours.
Okay, that's 209, okay.
I haven't looked at the hours that we have on paper for 211. Should be something like 10 a.m. to midnight. We operate as a full-service restaurant. Sometimes we do lunch, sometimes we do brunch.
Okay, I'm just looking at the application so I can make sure that you have everything. We're not missing something here. So it's a change. Do you have the agenda? Is it a change agent for both 209 and 211?
No.
And you got two?
No, change for 211, and we are applying for a Class C for 209.
Yeah.
There we go.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, 270.
Okay. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute.
Mhm.
That's all. I needed that clarity. Okay, thank
Any
you.
further questions? Any comments from the police department or attorney's office? In that case, I would entertain a motion. There's a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Good luck to you.
All right, thank you. Should I stay for?
Yeah.
You get, and going to answer your question, you get to talk.
Okay,
You get to talk.
Yeah.
Okay, next item, please. sir.
Item 0655-26, communication submitting a new application for a Class C wine license for Vero's LLC, doing business as Vero Tea Room, located at 209 6th Street. Howard Brown Jr., agent, First District.
Well, same thing in terms of hours of operation, number of employees, security measures that you already have in place.
We do have to swear him in
Oh,
first
I'm
again.
sorry,
It's
yeah,
just-
swear you
Yeah,
in.
it's a whole thing.
Let me explain first.
Yep, all right. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you, and then if you could state your full name.
My full name is Howard Brown.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so the number of places is about a dozen to, or less, for 209. And we operate as a cafe, so our hours, we do, tend to close much earlier in the daytime. So our hours right now are 10 to 8 p.m. Security in place right now, we don't have any security in place. We have security cameras or anything, but also we wouldn't, you know, the idea is we wouldn't serve alcohol to someone who we believe is at their limit, you know, which could be, not walking straight. You know, it could be that they're talking a lot differently from when they came into the cafe. And, you know, hours later, they're just a different person. You know, there's multiple reasons why we would probably put a stop to someone buying alcoholic beverages and us serving them alcoholic beverages. So we're mindful of, you know, not, you know, making someone drunk and, you know, and not being able to, like, drive home and stuff like that, which is kind of, some of that is out of our control, but if we can see that they cannot, you know, consume any more alcoholic beverages, then we won't sell them any more alcoholic beverages. Was there something I did not answer?
Did you say you do or do not have security cameras?
We have security cameras,
Okay.
yes, and a firefighter entrance.
I'll turn it over to, should we go to add to the police report or good neighbors?
I can briefly speak on the Good Neighbors meeting. Myself and the rest of the departments had a meeting with Mr. Brown on Wednesday, July 22nd. He's applying for just a wine license. He intends to operate a tea room that sells tea, other foods, wants to do a high tea type thing, and wine, I guess, goes along with that. He has previous experience in the restaurant industry. He has all of his sign-offs from all of the departments. The only thing that we flagged to him was kind of the same confusion the committee has, which is these are two legally separate entities. And
different addresses.
Two different addresses, two different licenses. He needs staff at both locations. He needs bartenders that are licensed at both locations. You can have them be, you know, employees of both locations or of a broader company, but they need to have licensed bartenders at both locations. And that's the only thing that we've noted on the Good Neighbors report. Other than that, he is all set from our end.
Okay. How will you address the having the licensed bartenders at each location?
So I will require each bartender that I hired to get their bartender's license. That'd be the only way. I'm
not sure if I said the question.
Okay, sorry.
Let me say it a different way. If you got two places open, you have to have a bartender at each location simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
a bartender with their
with a license. You have to have a license on the wall for the person to sell
so for every bar that we operate, so 0 to 11 has 3 different bars. So we need to be, if all those bars are operating, then we need 3 different bartenders with 3 different bartender licenses. That's what would happen if we were operating those bars all at the same time. And if we had someone serving wine at our other location, then that person would also have their alcohol.
Any questions from the committee?
Question just for the attorney. The bartending license is, the person can move.
Yep, so
As long as they have a bartending license.
So they need to have at least one bartender on shift for each location. So one at 209, one at 211, though I believe there's been a change where you need one on each level of 211. But they either need to have their license or be actively supervising. The law doesn't allow a bartender to actively supervise a different license's bartenders. So that would need 3 licensed bartenders, and then they could have any number of other people who are under direct supervision also handling alcohol. Like a server bringing a glass of wine to a table wouldn't need a bartender's license because presumably that server is under the observation and supervision of the licensed bartender. So
my question was just clarity that Sarah can work at 209 or 211, they can rotate.
Yes.
That's what I was looking
Yep,
for.
they can, once you have your bartender's license, you can work at as many bars as would like to hire you.
Just not at the same time. Are there any other questions from the committee? Thank you, sir. At this time, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve?
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries. One thing I will point out, that the final decision, this goes to the full council, and you can contact the clerk's office to find out further steps. But it goes to the full council next Wednesday. So that's when the final decision by the full council will be made.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Good luck. Next item, please.
Item 0656-26, communication submitting a new application for a Class B retail fermented malt beverage and intoxicating liquor license for La Esquina LLC, doing business as La Esquina, located at 2005 Taylor Avenue, Ramon Vidalis, agent, 3rd District. We did receive a letter from Mr. Vidalis stating that he did wish to withdraw his application for the license.
I'm looking for a motion at this time.
Motion to receive and file.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Our next item, please.
Item 0660-26, communication submitting a new application for a Class C retail fermented malt beverage and intoxicating liquor license for Vasudeva Inc., doing business as Danny's Grocery and Lounge, located at 1950 Taylor Avenue, Dixit Patel, agent, 11th District. There are 9 speakers on this item tonight.
Good afternoon. The attorney will swear you in.
All right, if you could raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. And then if you could state your full name?
Dixit Patel.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Okay, but I just want to point out that,
Actually, I'm applying for the Class B, not Class A. Am I correct? For the loans?
all right, but give me a second, please. All right, obviously, so that everyone understands what the committee understands what we're doing here. You are applying for a grocery store and bar on the same premise. Okay, first of all, my first question is, what kind of experience do you have running this type of business model, where both a bar and a grocery store?
Well, I own the Cristiano supermarket, last 15 years.
But it's not the same. You don't sell.
Yeah, I know that. I don't have experience, but I will take a class, and I have a bartending license. I take an online course, and I have a certificate.
How many employees will you have?
We will have between like 10 to 15.
And what are your hours of both? Will they both be open
Yeah,
at
both
the
gonna be,
same
I
time?
was gonna be like Monday to Thursday, gonna be 9 to 9, and Friday, Saturday, 8 to 9. Friday, Saturday, 8 to 11, and Sunday, 8 to 8.
What about the security issue? You will have a
Yes,
big parking lot.
we'll have a security camera outside and inside a parking lot.
How do you feel about the fact that there are already so many businesses selling alcohol products, within a few feet of you, that building particularly?
Like alcohol?
Well, yeah, you've got packaged liquor right there on 21st Street, you got it on 16th Street, you got the liquor
Yeah, but
store.
we don't sell liquor, this is gonna be loans. So.
I'm sorry, gonna be what?
Loans, so Class B license, we're not applying for Class A.
Any questions from the committee? Alder Davis?
Thank you. You have here that your intention is to have a grocery store and to have a lounge.
Loans and a deli, yes.
Oh, a lounge and a deli. My question, and over here by you, is a deli, able to have be approved for EBT if it has a lounge included in that location?
I am unprepared to speak on eligibility for EBT.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Okay. If that is something you can get back, to us in the email, being that you are in a location that would benefit from food, access to food, that sounds good, but the issue I have is if you will be able to actually be approved for EBT. I'm hesitant right now to give which way I want to go, because I want to hear about that, because that EBT approval is important. If it's about, helping enhance the area and providing access to that community. If it's only about like intoxicating liquors, then I don't see the benefit on it. And,
I'm a lawyer.
oh.
Consultant. The EBT issue,
Excuse me, does he need to be sworn in?
He does not need to be sworn in.
the EBT issue, you can't use EBT on food that's prepared and ready to. Only buy packaged food and carry-out food, grocery environment.
So it tends to be prepared there, okay.
Although it's under the same roof, it's going to be kind of separate.
No, yeah, we have all that here. So, yeah, I'm trying to, if you can describe more of what the concept of the deli lounge, yeah. Even looking at, do we have drawings?
I get you.
Because I need more insight of what actually you're attempting to get at. Oh, God, I pulled it up.
Yeah, I got a bit of copy. So, the daily is gonna be here, bar gonna be here, grocery store over here.
And, following up on that, what is your, projected sales? Do you, anticipate for projected sales in alcohol and food?
This is a picture of what they look like here. Okay, can you please repeat that question? I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to my first and then I'll come back around. So it has grocery, deli, and lounge. Will these facilities have different entrances, or will it be one common entrance? Because I'm trying to get to, if there's a grocery store, will you be able to be approved for EBT? If for the grocery store section, understanding that for the deli, that wouldn't be able to occur.
Yes.
I need, okay.
No, we will have actually the, two different entrances for the deli, bar, and a grocery store. So when you walk in a grocery store, you can go to the deli, we're gonna have a door over there. And when you walk into the bar, we also have a door over there too.
I think what she's getting at is there are some, locations, one in my district, matter of fact, that when there's alcohol sold, sometimes there's an issue with the EBT.
Yes, so I need to, in order for me to support this, I need to know if you were able to move forward, if we will be able to have EBT, because that's a major concern.
We don't know yet, because we haven't applied yet, so we will find out once we apply.
Okay. My second question is, what is your projected sales on alcohol and food?
The sales will be, are you talking about every day or monthly?
Yearly.
Yearly? I would say, $250,000 for the alcohol and, $400 to $500 for the grocery. $400 to $500,000, yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure, I want to make sure I understood. The question, it kind of goes back to what I had asked earlier. What percentage, let's say you're doing $100,000, make sure we're clear, you're doing $100,000 of sales per year. What percentage of that $100,000 is going to be alcohol, and what percentage is going to be
Also, I would say
food?
like, 35% will be alcohol and, 25% deli, and,
Okay.
yeah, 65 will be grocery, yeah.
Are there any further questions from the committee? Well, yes, sir.
The planning commission was, asked to consider this for a zoning change, and the planning commission denied the request. That denial was affirmed by the council. I do worry that this is the same proposal coming back, just under a different guise. I do have some comments and concerns I wanted to mention, but I wanted to hear from community members first before I made them. But I just wanted to make sure that everyone understood this is a very similar proposal that we saw in front of the Planning Commission that was denied, and the council upheld that denial.
Okay. Before we ask the public speakers, is there any comments from your office or the police?
A few comments from my office. So, we had a Good Neighbors meeting with Mr. Patel yesterday. We went over, kind of what his plans were, for the license, because he has to do a build-out of the grocery store. If this committee were to, want to approve this, we would ask for it to be a conditional approval contingent on him opening within 6 months, as we do often for businesses that are not yet ready to open. That's to ensure that if he does not open for whatever reason, the license would come back to us. We spoke with him about some of the common issues. He has a large parking lot. We've seen issues with large parking lots and congregation of people, so we went over with him that that's something that he needs to be on top of. For what it's worth, the ability to sell alcohol for consumption on premises is allowed with a grocery store, so that is in accordance with Chapter 125. He can do that. He can also have a deli on premises because a restaurant is also allowed. So his plan is within the scope of Chapter 125. It's just whether this committee, when they do their evaluation, if they evaluate based on the ordinances, if it fits for the area and whatnot. The one thing I will note, there is in the application a cigarette and tobacco application. This place is not zoned for cigarette and tobacco sales, so we would ask that regardless of what happens, that one gets pulled out for denial because he cannot sell tobacco at this location.
He's withdrawing anything to do with.
Yep, and we spoke with him. He's completely okay with that. So if he wants to withdraw, we can receive and file that application. He wants to work within the scope of what he's zoned for to sell there. So he's fully in agreement to withdraw that cigarette tobacco application.
Okay. Excuse me, is there anything from the police department?
Nope.
Okay, before, I kind of have two questions. Again, what is specifically different from this business model and the one that didn't pass last time? I mean, what's
If I could speak to that.
Yeah, thank you.
The last time, that was a request to change the zoning to allow for carry-out sales of alcohol, which in then reviewing the zoning ordinances and what's possible is the Chapter 125 allowance of a grocery store and a Class B license in the same edifice. This is something that, I know it may sound strange, different, or confusing, but this is something that I've been doing with a number of businesses. I work for, if you're familiar with Milwaukee, there's a large grocery store called Sendix. When ready-to-eat food became very popular, a lot of people buy their meal and take it home and eat it, or they may stay there and eat it. A lot of the Sendix grocery stores, and in particular there's one in Bayview, which is not a Sendix, you have the ability to buy your ready-to-eat meal and stay right there and consume craft beer or an alcoholic beverage. The reality is that it's, to me, better than having an actual tavern or pub. It's more open, it's lighted, there's a lot of people around. It's designed to serve a neighborhood, a contiguous area where everybody knows everybody and they may want to just meet, buy a drink, and also do some of their grocery shopping. It's not meant to be like Friday night till 2 a.m. tavern. This is a bit of a different concept, and it works quite well, and it's good for neighborhood cohesiveness and neighborhood togetherness. And that's really the goal. That's the goal that he has. I think he's in a central place there. Well, it used to be, as I understand it, an Ace Hardware.
Yes.
And you look at that sort of business and what can work, he comes from the grocery background. He's operated Cristiano's, I think, for 12 or 15 years. So that part of it he knows, and I can tell you that actually operating the grocery is much more difficult and challenging than a Class B tavern. You know, there's way more products, way more oiling, spoliation, refrigeration. You have to really be on top of your profit percentages on the grocery side, a little bit more loose on the tavern side. And the point of all businesses now is convenience. To give somebody a reason to come to your place, if you give them more than one reason, that convenience makes a difference. So, that's all I really have to say. I mean, I can talk on this subject for hours, but I won't.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions from anyone at the table?
I want to hear other community members.
I had one question. If you didn't get the liquor license, would you still operate the grocery store at this location?
Can you repeat one more time?
If you were not granted the liquor license, would you still operate the grocery store at this location?
Yes.
From the clerk's office, I'll let you take over, call the speakers up.
Heidi Leipke, 2347 Olive Street.
Hi,
Hello.
my name is Heidi Leipke, and I am here to support local businesses in my neighborhood. I live on Olive Street and have been in the neighborhood for over 30 years. So I'm right off of 21st and Taylor, and I think Danny's business is a good thing to have for our neighborhood. We are also so we need like a little grocery store and someplace to eat that's close by. The property value, it will increase my property value being so close to having a store there. And just someplace to go. I've known Danny for many years, and I've been a frequent person at Cristiano's, and I think it would be a really good thing to have, someplace that we can go in the neighborhood to sit down, to eat something, have a variety of things to have, instead of having to drive all the way to Green Bay Road or other little places like that to strip malls and have to sit at a restaurant there. So that's all I'm saying.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vic Patel, 3700 Meacham Road.
Hello, everybody. My name is Vishnu Patel, and I own Dandy Liquor, 3700 Mitchum Road. But our question is enough to beer license, liquor license, and everything. Like now, follow the Dandy Liquor, more than 3 license right there. Come to year 21st liquor license, right there, they apply as liquor, Cristiano's.
Yes, sir.
So I'll repeat, so I'm just trying to understand, are you in favor of the application or opposed to it?
I'm not sure.
You're not in favor of it?
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's not one to ask. Next speaker. Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Ailesh Patel, 2813 Taylor Avenue.
Hi, everyone. I'm Les Patel. I'm on also 2013 Taylor Liquor Inc., Colonial Liquor, couple block down from there. So I'm against with those liquor license, beer license. I didn't mind on the grocery. So, thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Jack,
Oh, no, but are you, there's,
I've been running last one.
no, are you related to the applicant? Or you just coincidentally have the same last name?
Same last name.
Okay. Thank you.
Clerk's office. Thank you.
Jagdish Patel, 1856 Taylor Avenue.
Hello, Your Honor. My name is Jagdish Patel, and I own the Dance Liquor on 1856 Taylor Avenue. This is Wisconsin. I own owned and operated my store by 32 years. During that time, I have always followed the law and all liquor rules. I have never had any other. I work hard every day to run a safe, honest, and responsible business. I care about this neighborhood because it has been my home and my business for over 3 decades. I spent 32 years building my business and earning the trust of my customers by following the rules and serving the community with respect. I kindly ask the court to consider my long history and reputable business. Thank you for very much for my time and for listening to me.
Thank you. Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Yash Patel, 2300 17th Street.
Hi, I own the store just a little bit down the block on Taylor Avenue. I just feel like there's already a big concentration of alcohol products already available. You know, you have gas stations, liquor stores, convenience stores. I don't feel like there's a need for another, big chain like that, or not big chain, but big box store that sells all these alcohol products. But like you said, if he doesn't mind having alcohol, it's different. The alcohol might not be the best fit there.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Bob Pata, 4930 St. Regis Drive.
Hi, everybody, I'm Bob Patel. I'm opposite for this business. Like Jay said, we are there for almost 32 years. And next door to that figure, there's a funeral home. There's a lot of people, homeless people hanging around it. If this one is open, this is also a big parking lot. And so, opposite, not to.
I'm sorry, you saying you're for?
No.
Oh, you're against. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Next speaker, please.
Colin Caldwell, 1926 JICS.
I've lived in this neighborhood for 10 years. I think it'd be fantastic to have a grocery store right there instead of going to Durant all the time. And when it comes to, I'm glad you brought up the homelessness because there's that big parking lot that is filled with homelessness. You guys put a mental facility on that Taylor Avenue. There's a beautiful new mental facility. There's Rosie's finally opened back up. It would be beautiful to have Ace Hardware instead of that just nasty looking parking lot. So I've known Danny for a couple of years. He runs a great business at Cristiano's, and I would love to see a grocery store there. I'm on JIC. I would love to see that.
What about the alcohol part of it? Are they still-
There's alcohol everywhere. I don't think it would change a thing. But having that whole space occupied would be lovely. There's homeless everywhere around there. So if they had the lights on, they had a new business, a new building, it would look beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Andrew Arena, 1110 North MLK Junior Drive.
Well, that's me again. I got my name called, I'll come back. There's a little bit of an issue that I'm hearing from the other Patel clan. These are people claiming that they don't want liquor because liquor is bad, but they're all in the liquor business. I don't think that should have any credibility in this situation. We covered the fact that there is not going to be a Class A license here. Liquor will not leave the building, but it'll mostly be somebody sitting and having a casual tap beer, maybe one drink. And all consumption will be inside that property. This is not a Class A liquor license. There's not an intent to be a Class A liquor license. All of the Sendik's locations, the Grappi's locations, they have some carry-out capabilities at some of those places, but most of them are designed for somebody to select a food item, eat the item in the location, and possibly have a beverage of their choice with their meal. And as far as homeless. What I understand about that area, if there is a lot of homeless, the most important thing is to have the building occupied, have the security cameras up, have the parking lot monitored. The only way that can happen is if there's a going grocery store and business in that property. And as far as we talk about issues in alcohol, there's a term called concentration. And it appears that the ones that have their license for Class A liquor stores are saying that there's too much alcohol, which seems to find the base of logic in what their business plan is. So their business plan is good enough for them, but they don't want anybody else. And to me, that is just outright un-American. It violates antitrust laws. Everybody gets a free chance. We have free markets in this country. And that's really what you should consider. Is it better for the neighborhood to have a place for people in the neighborhood to congregate and have an easier life? The main goal is to provide a high level of service to the neighborhood and be a great resource and benefit to the neighborhood. That is a place where the neighborhood could have meetings, where people in the neighborhood could meet and talk. I'm pretty sure that probably doesn't happen in any of the detractors in their liquor stores. So that's all I would say on that point. If anybody has a question, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you. At this moment, we're gonna take a 2-minute break,
Okay.
unless, because you wouldn't have.
Oh, okay.
Our last speaker has just spoken. Next speaker, please.
We are finished with our speakers for this item.
Okay, thank you. I think the attorney's office has answered all the legal aspects. I'm sorry?
Let them know we're back.
That's the audience.
Oh, we're in back, I'm sorry. Oh, I thought I said that when I said thank you for your patience. That's why I said we're back officially in business. Thank you. Sorry for the oversight. I'm sorry, go ahead, please.
Oh, you have something else you want to say? No?
Yes, I was asking the attorney's office the distinct difference between the first application and this one. I just want to make sure everyone understands.
I guess, what do you mean by which first application?
The one that had to have the zoning change.
Oh, yes, so we have a zoning plan that encompasses the entire city. Every single parcel in it is zoned a certain way to allow people to do certain things and not others, depending on what the zoning is. This location is zoned Class B1, which allows for, it's one of our most restrictive zoning categories under the business district type. It allows for taverns, it allows for grocery stores. It does not allow for the sale of cigarettes and tobacco. It doesn't allow for the sale of prepackaged alcohol to go. So a six-pack, a bottle of wine, a bottle of liquor, things like that. There was an application before the Planning, Heritage, and Design Committee to change that zoning from B1 to B3, which would allow for the sale of prepackaged alcohol. I don't know if it would allow for the sale of tobacco because there's also a distance requirement, and I don't have the maps in front of me with all the locations to see if it meets that 1,000 feet. But that zoning request was denied by the PHDC and the Common Council, I believe about a month ago, but I don't have the date right in front of me. So this would only allow for the sale of consumption on premises, inside, in like a lounge or a bar type setting, because that's what this license is for, and that is what this zoning allows.
Okay, thank you. Any other? Yes, sir.
So I just wanted to express concerns about moving forward this, just in the context of it. When the Planning Commission looked at it, albeit for a slightly different thing, there is a lot of opportunity to buy alcohol in this area already. But I would just remind people of the proximity to Halo, just up the street onto Coven, and the mental health facility that's being built. Part of that mental health treatment will be aorta-related issues. I don't know that another facility serving alcohol would be in the best interest of the community here. The applicant has said he would still move forward with the grocery store if he doesn't get the liquor approval here today. I think a grocery store in that space would be a great addition to the community, and I think everybody would cheer for that. But in part, some of the EBT issues that you've heard raised here, but certainly the concerns that we heard in the Planning Commission, I don't know would be completely ameliorated by going from a B1 to B2 liquor license, even if it's consumed on site. We do have ordinances under B2 that are stricter than what the state code does in terms of takeout, so it would be restricted there. I would also, as people may know, we are working on an entire zoning reclassification for the entire city, the first time since 1973. But looking at distance requirements for these kind of facilities is also something that's imagined under that rezoning of the entire city. So it's not in effect now, but it is an area we've heard concerns about in terms of the density of the number of these facilities that are here. So at the very least, if I would certainly want to talk to the county more about any concerns they might have about the mental health facility and the aorta services that they would provide there. But my hope would be that we would deny this request, and if people aren't comfortable with that, at least consider deferring it to see if we can gather more information.
Okay, yes.
Since this is my county district, I'm going to speak on that for a minute, and kind of piggyback off what the mayor said about the mental health facility and the other county building that's across the street from that. So that is a great concern of mine. This layout is lovely. Of course, we would want a grocery store and, delis, yes, they are popular. There are a couple of those in the city that do very well that don't have alcohol. You've got Sausage Kitchen and other places that have seating areas, and, I think that could really work for this space, and you could make that work without the alcohol.
Alder Davis?
Thank you, Alder Kelly, for that. My question for Danny, is this, are you intending to close Cristiano's, or would that be also, you are?
So the Cristiano will be open, yeah.
Oh, so you'll have both,
That will be
both
co-location,
locations?
yeah. The Cristiano's on Kearney Avenue and, this is on Taylor Avenue.
Okay, that was just my, if you were consolidating businesses or not. And the mayor asked this question, I'm going to just ask again. Do you feel that you would be able to open the grocery store and the deli without having the lounge? No? Do you,
Yeah, that's not a fair question.
say that one more time?
That's not a fair question.
I can,
He says it's not a fair question.
oh, okay. Okay. So you wouldn't be interested in it if it wasn't the,
Not without the Class B, yeah. But we actually applied for the zoning Class A, but the city don't allow, so I changed my Plan B, so I can have at least, Class B license, so people can socialize over there, you know, have a couple of days. And we close at 9 o'clock, we're not gonna have to close like, 11, 12, or 2 in the morning. And if you want me to, I can close 9 o'clock every day, you know, I won't stay open late.
refresh my memory on your projected percentages for alcohol and the grocery store? Can you tell me that again?
What was it?
What are your projected,
The hours?
no, the percentages
Oh,
of,
percentage, so
yeah.
it's gonna be, I would say liquor, I would say 35%, and, dairy, I would say, 25, and, 45 to 50% grocery.
Okay.
At 125%.
Yeah, it's going over.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. You have anything?
No, the density of all the alcohol in the area is a concern for me.
On both sides, the pros and the cons, I have agreement with both points of view here. With the comments that have been made about, number one, saturation, and number two, the close proximity to the health facilities in the area. And I will point out, this is a new concept for the Racine area. And secondly, because it's a new concept for the Racine area, city, I know, as the attorney said, it's in other places, Bayview, it's also in rural areas. That model works well. But with the other cons or negatives, or things in the other direction, I should say, that we've heard here, it makes it even more challenging, gets to the point that the council would be setting a precedent here for this business model. And secondly, being that, if I'm wrong, please correct me, but I believe that this is considered, the liquor part is a property license.
So yes, there is a property right to alcohol licenses. Once they're given, they have to have due process to be taken away. It doesn't mean that they are impossible to take away, but it's not on a whim. We have to prove up a case that would say that they've violated, for any business that has alcohol, that they've violated the terms of that license, and we would have to prove that.
Okay, let me ask the question another way. If Mr. Patel sold the business to one of the chains that are doing this, that license is granted, so I'd use the term, maybe it's not legally correct, but grandfathered, it'll go with the property, is that correct?
That is not really correct. So there is no sale of liquor licenses. Often what will happen is a business will be sold contingent on the previous owner voluntarily surrendering to the city to be reissued to the buyers. So if the applicant were to sell the business, the buyer would be back before this committee answering a lot of the same questions, and this committee would have the chance to review that person's business plans and things like that.
Yes, sir.
Well, not technically true, de facto, isn't that what happens?
It's a question of.
I've never seen us deny a transfer.
Yeah, it is rare to deny a transfer. I've never seen one either, but it is something that the committee does review, and we have those almost every meeting of someone who's conditionally surrendering to be reissued.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments from the committee?
Yes, I do. I do have one more, just 'cause I need clarification. The attorney, I think you may can speak to this. Was it about how did you say the process for the EBT when I brought up the concerns?
Well, the EBT is a federal license. They review it and determine about it.
And so my question is, have you all had contact with them and said, like, what your plans were so that you know if it's possible to have EBT approved at this location?
So we haven't had contact on behalf of Danny, but I can tell you with my experience in multiple convenience stores and grocery stores with Class B, we've not been denied EBT at any location. Sendix is a huge grocery store chain. They have huge stores. Building one in Whitefish right now, over 100,000 square feet. And the EBT is safe. The only issue on EBT is we have a hot food bar. You go through and load up, you pay for the hot food by the pound. You can't use an EBT card to buy food that's there. Correct, but I understand if you can't purchase the prepaid, but my concern is for the grocery store area. Will the presence be beneficial for all in that community, meaning having access by EBT? I think they have access at Cristiano's right now.
But Cristiano's doesn't have the deli.
But they sell ready-to-eat sandwiches. They can't start for a ready-made sandwich. They can buy all their other groceries.
Correct.
And the liquor in the building does not prevent somebody from either. All the Class A liquor licenses also take you.
Okay, that's why I'm just want to have it.
Yes, sir.
So I think it's something you'd want to have nailed down if the committee is interested in moving forward with it. Again, I have concerns about it, but my understanding is that bars and taverns do not qualify for EBT cards, and if it's all in one space, I worry that this is a neighborhood that's going to have EBT cards. So
that's why I'm pressing and asking those questions. I hear, as you state, Sendix. Is that something, I know it's federal, is it something that the city attorney can look into?
I can look into the eligibility of EBT, and I'll write something up that kind of goes through what is required just in general, and then we can discuss that.
Yes. So with that piece, that's a large piece that's looming over me for me to be able to move forward. So I don't know about the others. I'm quiet, but I will make a motion to defer because we need additional.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. But there, a question for the clerk's office. Someone else that hadn't signed up, I don't believe, just raised their hand requesting to speak.
Are you already on the list signed up here? No. You want to sign here?
actually want to ask one more thing, if we already signed up before, are we allowed to ask it or not?
It's up to the discretion of the committee.
Considering this would be your second time, I will allow it, but I would have seriously appreciate it if you would keep it brief.
Yes, sir.
Please, come on.
So-
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, afternoon.
After the, oh, yeah.
Devender Singh, 5720 Woodland Hills Drive.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I'm run a business in neighborhood, Taylor Avenue, Durand Avenue, and Ecogan Avenue. And I have a few houses around here. I know local community very good. And the thing is, there's a lot of bars around here. They serve food too. They can, the person who want to sit and drink, they can go at that place and drink and socialize the little bit. But they have to get the bar license over there. And it will hurt the other businesses around there too. So there's a bars around there. They have been there for almost 20, 30 years, some are longer than that. If they have to run the grocery store, they can do it. They can run deli, they can do it. But why they need to have the bar over there? There may be 10 bars around there. That's all I want to say.
Thank you.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yash Patel, 2300 17th Street.
As Mr. Devender said, right, I personally have no issue if it's just a grocery store. But just in that 2-minute break, Mr. Patel changed his mind about saying, without the alcohol license, he went open. And secondary, it is a lounge. Class B, I think, lets you put slot machines or video game machines, whatever you want to call them, right?
It doesn't, it's kind of a,
Gray zone?
yeah, well, so they are prohibited. However, they are only, between 1 and 5, they are only able to be cited by the Department of Revenue. So that doesn't make them legal. It is just something that the Department of Revenue has to address, and they only have 30-ish agents in the state. So all of the businesses that have them are flying under the radar of the state of Wisconsin, and those machines could be cited and seized at any minute.
So, just out of curiosity, if he does get a Class B license, and if he is one of those businesses that flies under the radar for however long, because a lot of the bars do, you know, we go out to bars, there's people playing those, food tabs, all of it, right? If he does it, there's a lot of homelessness over there. Who is to say those people don't come in, you know, create a ruckus for the people that are trying to enjoy their meal or whatnot? Maybe there's a heavier police presence. I'm just
Okay.
voting the, you know,
Yeah,
voice of my opinion.
Yeah, with all due respect, I just don't want to lead in any particular direction, one way or the other.
Oh, no, I understand. I was just saying. And then, his attorney did mention that we are in the same line of business and we're opposed to it, right? We purchased our business wherever, I don't know when everyone purchased theirs, right? I purchased mine last year right down the street. Or actually this year, in January, right? I went through the same issue. I voiced any complaints or anything the city had, right? Nor did I didn't apply for a new application. I just transferred it. As the mayor said, they was always go through. So I'm not trying to hurt anyone's business. It's just, you know, I am a small business at the end of the day. I got no issue if a grocery store opens. Alcohol kind of gets into all of our toes a little bit.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it. Is there anyone else to speak? Any more comments from, being none at this time, I would entertain a motion.
This is nice.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. But I do have to point out that this still goes to the full city council next Wednesday, and there will be a public speaking component that has to be published by our ordinance. And does the attorney's office need to add anything?
The city clerk's office is typically the one who kind of gives them the lowdown on common council.
Yeah, so common council is gonna be on the, 5th of August. It'll be at 6 PM in City Hall, room 205. That's the council chambers on the second floor. You are not required to attend. If you would like to, you can attend and speak, if you do wish to, but you are not required to. They take whichever the recommendation is, and the full council will decide and vote on that.
Thank
Is there a process to submit written objection?
So you can submit anything in writing to the office. It can be given to the committee. And again, you can sign up to speak in public comment. I believe it's a 3-minute timer for speaking. But yeah, you can write to the office of the city clerks. We can provide that for the council. You're welcome.
Thank you all. Next item, please.
Item 0650-26, communication requesting the appearance of Ariania Ramirez for a new operator's license. Ariana,
Please come forward.
is there an Ariania Ramirez here today? This is her first appearance.
Okay. Thank you. We'll defer this item to the later, at the end of the meeting.
Point of privilege.
I'm sorry. Okay, I better check Robert's rules.
Point of privilege.
No, it's fine.
You can just stand informal for a couple minutes.
Huh?
Stand informal is what you would say?
Yes, we'll stand informal for a couple of minutes.
What's that?
So if anyone needs to take a short break. We're back in session, by the way.
Item 0651-26, communication submitting a new application for a massage establishment license, Sunflower Therapy LLC, doing business as Sunflower Spa, located at 906 State Street, Zhao Di Zhu, owner, First District.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm a little scared because English not too good.
Okay.
I hope you
Okay.
forgive me. My name is Zhao
Okay,
Di Zhou.
first of all, let's
I'm
allow,
gonna swear you in.
gotta swear you in.
All right. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I promise I tell truth.
Thank you. And then if you could state your full name.
My name is Zhao Di Zhou.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. This is a new application for a massage establishment at for the 2026 through 2027 calendar year. Are there any concerns from the Racine Police Department?
It's more of the county that does the investigation.
Oh,
Yep. So I have some things. I have actually two things. One is a city, they have only just applied for their occupancy permit about 2 weeks ago, and they are at the very initial stages of going through occupancy. I have notes here that they have yet even to submit a acceptable floor plan for the city of Racine's, like their building and city development. So they already have issues with the layout of their building, and those are that the massage activity needs to be a certain footage away from the front facade, and that all of the massage areas would be screened from view, and they, at least from what I'm looking at here, have not updated city development with any additional plans showing that they would come into conformance with our requirements. The second, as with all other massage applications, we submitted this to the sheriff's office. They have a specialized investigator who is in the business of analyzing massage businesses in the southeast Wisconsin area. He has done these for, I believe, over a year for us now, and has a lot of specialized training in identifying issues with businesses of this type. He identified a couple specific issues that I want to call out. One is the prior employment listed on the application of QQ Spa in Green Bay. This is known to be a place that has illicit massage activity. There is an extensive list of reviews, most of which occurred during the time in which that the applicant states that she was working at QQ Spa. I will note that there are 2 QQ Spas in Green Bay, and the reviews are for both of them because it's not clear which one she was working for, but there are large number of reviews for both that show illicit massage activity occurring at these businesses. The second is some of the address history for the applicant links back to other massage businesses that have reviews of this nature, and that there is also concern that this specific establishment at 906 State has been used quite frequently as a illicit massage business and was shut down by the state of Wisconsin in early 2025 under a different name. It is common with these types of businesses that when they are shut down, they get another applicant to reopen and resume the same type of business. There's more details provided in the sheriff's office report, and all of the reviews for businesses associated with the applicant are also included in this.
thank you. Okay, you wanna, did you understand what we just heard?
I understand a little bit. He say, I work in the QQ Spa in Green Bay before, because 3 years ago, I'm really don't have a long time job. I'm a housewife and part-time, I'm older.
So,
Yeah.
okay, the question is, one of the issues is that, are you part of the same organization? What, the Double Q Spa in Green Bay, you worked there before, you say?
Yeah, QQ Spa, yes. But I don't work in so long, just the part-time, maybe a week,
No,
maybe a couple days, like that.
but, okay,
Yeah.
see, several things where concerned about, and I'm not even sure which order makes most sense at this point. But the building that isn't properly set up for the type of business that you want. There's so many, if I made a checklist of items, building inspections, meeting state regulations for your type of business. None of those items have been put in place, and based on that inspection, then the health department component has not been in place. I guess what I'm trying, one way to express my concern at this moment, if it makes more sense for you to withdraw your, and I can't tell you what to do, don't misunderstand, but it might be a better idea to work on some of these issues now as opposed to going forward. I'm sorry? I'm sorry? Okay, relax. But what I was trying to say is, based on all of the issues, concerns at this moment, it may be a better idea for you to withdraw your application, get all these items, questions answered, and then reapply, as opposed to taking the risk of not being ready at this point. I guess simplest way I'm trying to say, what my comment is I don't feel that you're prepared to apply for the license today. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you can't, but that's my feeling.
I just to say this. A couple months ago, people tell me I'm home. They rushing at 9:06 have one spa. They close. They don't have people have massage license and no business license. They say you can come try have this. I come try. This is why. Before I don't know this. I hope before they have a problem, they get the ticket. It's not for me. But I hope making new for me. This is why Sunflow Spa is I make it stand, And if I can have a business license, then I just can promise. And working for me, the people, my shoes, they must have license and follow it.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you say something I really don't understand. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Sure. I'll turn it over to the committee. Any comments on the committee? Mayor's office? Or whoever wants to go first. I saw his hand first.
I'll defer to the members if they want to make.
For me, my thoughts are hearing from the city attorney that the occupancy in those situations have not been completed. My thoughts, that's the first part, is to postpone this until till those are approved. And I say that we typically want folks to have their occupancy permits and all that before moving forward, so that's why I state the postpone. Otherwise, it's going into me wanting to deny due to the information that was provided to us. So in being my ideal of fair is the first piece is postponing because of the occupancy stuff.
I appreciate what Alder Davis said, but on that side of getting the permits taken care of, but then the other issues from the county or that the attorney read still have not been addressed. And what I'm afraid of is you spending money trying to get the building prepared, investing money in it, and still don't get the license. That could happen. That is the risk that you're running if you want to go forward now. Or even if we say come back when you get the permits, you still have the other side of this picture. It's two pictures, not just one, if that makes sense. Two problems.
I only can say, if the government can give me a massage business license, I say thanks. If you say no, I say thanks.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay. All
Okay?
right. I'll
Yeah.
turn it back over to, yes, sir.
So somebody once said to me, and I keep this in mind sometimes when we get applications, sometimes a fast no is kinder than a long maybe. And given the concerns that have been raised by the sheriff's department, even if the occupancy issues were addressed, I don't know that the answer would be an approval to move forward. And so if that's the case, I think it is kinder to give certainty to the applicant today that we're not likely to move this forward, as opposed to saying, go back, work on your occupancy, spend money on design and getting it up to code. Sometimes a fast no is kinder than a long maybe.
Thank you. Any further comments from the committee?
I've been on here long enough to see enough of these, and especially with this location, so, I will go with the fast no, with making a motion to deny.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I'm sorry, but it did not pass. You won't be recommended to the council to get the license. You didn't get it.
Okay.
Sam,
Yeah.
Sam.
Sam, please, oh, he was gonna do it.
To the,
He knew he was gonna.
sure.
Let me tell all, before the people come, it was
Okay.
good, it was good. I don't know.
Okay. The committee recommended to deny the license. It's still going to go to the council on August 5th for final decision. So on the 5th, they'll decide.
Yeah. I have the license, you also.
If you would like to. You don't have to.
No.
But if you would like to. Okay. Oh, okay.
No,
Okay.
yeah, I don't want to make it again.
If you want to withdraw your application, you can do that with the city
No.
clerk's office.
I don't want to try.
Okay. So I would withdraw it with the clerk.
I'm following,
Yeah.
you know.
So-
It's okay.
So if you want to go to the same place where you applied, and you can stop in and withdraw your license,
No.
so that if you don't want to pursue it. Okay. Okay.
It's okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I so much thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We all thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Take care.
Have a good evening, good luck to you.
Bye-bye.
Yes, sir, we're ready for the next item, please.
Item 0658-26, communication submitting an application for a second-hand article dealer license, Salt Commons LLC, doing business as Salt Commons, located at 2224 Northwestern Avenue, Unit 308, Christina Stallard, Agent, 8th District.
Hello, thank you. The attorney's office will swear you in.
All right, if you could raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. And if you could state your full name.
Christina Stallard.
Christina, please share with us what your business plan, hours of operation, number of employees, what type of products you'll be serving.
So we actually kind of fell into this by accident. We were selling our own things on Facebook Marketplace and realized that we were really good at it. So we're trying to do this the right way through all of these absolutely crazy channels, and that's why we're here today for our secondhand dealer's license. My unpaid intern is my husband, Brian. We are currently in a lease at the Maltworks building within the Bell City Square. We're like the inclusive Venus to Green.
great place. We are only planning on operating this one weekend a month. Our idea is that this is going to be a very curated collection, new every month. It's not the same, so I'm so excited. Like the same sort of antique store where you go in every day, and it's like, that has been there for a long time. So our plan is to revamp it every single month. So that's really it, just about me and my unpaid intern.
Okay, sounds like you have a new business model also, which brings up a question. Are you going to use mix that with your Facebook or your online activities?
I think they almost have to be integrated in that, one, Maltworks doesn't do any advertising for the businesses that are located within them. They're all sort of responsible for marketing themselves. And we already have a reasonable Facebook following for what it is that we do. So I think things do need to sort of get cross-posted and like, hey, this thing is at our location.
Okay, thank you. Before I ask the committee, is there anything from the attorney's office?
Nothing from the attorney's office. Their application checks all the boxes.
Police department, comments? Committee, any comments?
If you had more success, would it be open more than one weekend a month?
Oh, gosh, that'd be fantastic. We would love that. You know, so last year, just sort of accidentally operating out of our home, we made about $20,000. Wow was right. So we are definitely starting with one weekend a month because we don't know, are people going to be receptive to this model? Are they going to come to Maltworks? We also have 5 children at home, and I have a full-time job. His full-time job is the kids. So one weekend a month right now, thinking about this as like a curated collection is like really exciting. There's a similar concept in Milwaukee called BC Modern. They're open one weekend a month. They have the same sort of idea. So I'm stealing it from my buddy Eric. So, or borrowing, not stealing. We don't steal. I would love to be open more than one weekend a month. That'd be fantastic. But for right now, we're gonna start small and see where it goes.
I thought the word curated was a very opposite, accurate term from what I've heard you describe.
Yes, thank you. We try very hard for that.
Any other questions from the committee?
Just a question is, are you aiming towards like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's furniture or second, you know what?
What are you selling?
Yeah, what are you selling? And I have to keep an eye on your intern over there, because I see him talking about air.
So primarily what we've been doing out of our home right now is primarily furniture, slightly larger items. He buys storage lockers occasionally, making our driveway somewhat of a storage. Got that at a later meeting, guys. And then in case of like small items, we do have an eBay store as well. But the store that we're specifically talking about today, tends to be larger items, mid-century variety, not a ton of antiques, a lot of 550s and up.
All right, thank you.
Because we're vintage now too, so.
Any other questions from the committee? This time I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further questions?
I guess they just say they're gonna be open a weekend a month. Our approval doesn't limit them to a weekend a month, correct?
It does not.
Okay, just based on the hours that they submitted to it.
So I did actually have a follow-up question. Is this license, limited to the location, or is it limited to the LLC itself?
That's a good
Because our residence is
Very
located
good question.
our home location is within Wind Point, which they don't know if they want to be Racine or if they want to be Wind Point, so that's.
So this is based on the ordinance, so this would only apply to the city of Racine. Whatever you do in Wind Point is between you and the village of Wind Point, and we don't have anything to do with that.
No, just one clarification.
Yep.
Perfect. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Motion carried. Good luck.
Thank you.
Very creative marketing strategy.
Thank you.
Thank you. And next item, please.
Item 0661-26, communication submitting a new application for a cigarette, tobacco, and electronic vape device retail license for Moe's Market LLC, doing business as Moe's Market, located at 1949 Racine Street. Syed Shahade, agent, 2nd District. Apologies if I got that right.
Thank you. The attorney's office is where you at.
All right, if you could raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Then if you could state your full name.
My name is Syed Shahade.
Okay, please tell us about the same questions, I know you probably heard them a lot. What are you gonna be doing with your business, operation, hours, safety concerns, cameras, these things? I can go in order, but I'm just saying general idea.
Yeah, so basically my business, I'm gonna have a grocery store / convenience store with a restaurant in there too. So we're gonna have like chicken, burgers, and stuff sort of like that. And I'm gonna be open from 9 to 9, and Sundays from 9 to 8. And I do have security cameras and very good lighting outside, like if it gets dark outside. So, I don't know if there's another question.
How, do you have any experience, with especially, well, with both sides, but you sort of have two different products here, the vape, tobacco, then the food side. So could you share your experiences with us?
Well, basically,
within the last 12 months.
I've been in retail for quite a while. Like, my cousin, he owns a store on 16th Street in Bell City. And he has a little small deli over there. I'd be, like, I got some experience.
What about with, selling tobacco products, vape products?
He also does that too.
No, but have you also worked with him?
Yes.
Before I turn it over to the committee, I'll ask the, attorney's office. Thank you. Your comments?
So this does fit within our zoning plan. They have sold tobacco there within the last 12 months. So there is no zoning issues on this one.
And to the police department?
Nothing.
Okay. To the committee?
What are your hours? I know you stated some hours of operation, but are you open currently? Because as I come...
Currently not. I was planning on open August 3rd, but I have to renew the tobacco license because I already have a lot of inventory right now. I was planning to open August 3rd, but you said the next meeting is Wednesday if I get approved, so I was going to wait until I get it.
Oh, August, okay, because I had noticed that you hadn't been open. I've been watching and waiting to see when you were open, okay.
I had another question myself from the attorney's office. Are there any permits from the health department, from building inspector, any of those other departments?
Nothing that they flagged for me. I will take a quick look. Typically, they flag those things to me in the run-up to this meeting, and I did not get a communication from them. Let me take a look.
You currently have a liquor license?
No. There was one, but I wasn't gonna plan on doing liquor anyway.
What was that building prior?
It was like same thing, liquor store, I think.
Okay, market or something. Okay.
Sorry, it just hit a sentimental spot when we it was Mo.
Yeah, they used to be my dad.
Yeah. Mo, is it dad? Who's your dad?
Thank you.
Just be a second here.
Yep, I'm just scrolling through. I don't see anything that has any issues. And I was not informed from anyone in the departments that there is, so I can say that there is not any issues with
Thank you.
with the health department, building department.
Thank you. Would you like to add anything else?
I just want to say that I was here earlier this year, and I applied for the tobacco license, and I got approved. But I thought I was here for, I thought I had until June 30th to renew it, but I guess you're supposed to do it before April 15th.
I'll let you, yeah.
Yep, so that is the ordinance, so this is technically a new license, but it is within the zoning plan and whatnot, so, and it was approved back in, let's see here, I believe this was, February 3rd of 2026.
That's what I thought. Any other questions, comments from the committee? Seeing none, at this time, we entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day, guys.
You too.
Thank you.
Oh, excuse me. Just to be fair, you heard, the process from
Yeah,
the
next
clerk's
week,
office.
Wednesday.
Okay, I knew you heard it like 10 times this evening. Thank you. Yes, sir, we're ready.
Item 0605-26, communication requesting the appearance of Kevin Dubiak, agent for Dubies, located at 3701 Durand Avenue, Suite 345, pursuant to a formal expression of concern, and also requesting consideration of rescinding the formal expression of concern, 11th District.
I will let the attorney swear you in.
All right, if you could raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. And then I have a little bit of a paragraph to read to you before we get underway. So you've been required to appear before this committee because the committee has received notice of one or more concerning incidents at your establishment. As a result, the committee has issued a formal expression of concern against you under Section 6-27 of the ordinance. If you are issued 2 within a 6-month period or 3 or more in a 1-year period, you will be referred to the city attorney's office for disciplinary proceedings, including possible suspension and revocation of your license. You will have an opportunity to address the committee and tell us how you intend to correct these issues going forward. However, you do not have to discuss the specific incident unless you wish. And then I will note that there was a call-in on January 14th, 2026, that would make that over 6 months ago. We had a Good Neighbors meeting, and that Good Neighbors meeting was successful. So we are back here on strike one, if this were to be approved.
Thank you. I'll turn it over to Sergeant Cruz.
So I had the report for the last meeting to the date 7/14/25 to the date 7/14/26. 32 calls to service. Since our meeting that we had, we have 11 calls for service, 11 of them documented for our self-dispatch. 7 of them are calls generated either by the bar or by a caller. With the stuff that we have here, it's mostly related to the crowd that's gathering outside in the parking lot. We discussed it before. Not exactly sure how to address such a big parking lot that we have there. The city attorney was here talking about the ordinances as far as what we can do. I'm gonna get with her. She's actually gonna do a presentation for officers at roll call. Try to get a little bit more information on that. As far as their license premise, every time we do a report, they are in compliance. There's no issue with the operator's license. The Class B license is posted, and we have cooperation every time we go in, so.
Yes, sir.
That's why I was hoping to go first today, because all that was pertaining to what I'm dealing with. And like you said, it's literally the loitering in the parking lot. I have an officer that I pay for every Friday and Saturday. He calls for assistance, they come clear the parking lot, no one gets citations, there's no fights, there's no anything, but he needs help clearing it because there's so many people. They don't behave, they don't leave when they're supposed to, they loiter. That's literally what it is. That's why I was hoping this would go hand in hand with the very beginning of the meeting tonight, because this is what they were talking about.
Would you believe that?
It's to move people along that don't want to move along. That's, like you said, like a lot of these calls, they come in and the officer who I have on duty, he calls and, they come clear it out, or like I said, there's no fights, there's no anything, but it keeps on being police call, police call, police call, and it gets blown up on a Racine County scanner, and it looks so much worse than what it is. It's a huge public parking lot. So again, once the new stuff goes into place like they were discussing earlier at the beginning of the meeting, then I'm down with whatever, but right now, we're doing all we can. There's not problems inside the establishment, and for that matter, there's usually not even problems outside the establishment other than the large gatherings, which is what we're all dealing with. We had one actually last weekend where the officer said that there was a teen takeover thing, which I'm sure everybody's aware of. It was at Lockwood Park. Then it moved over to Dunham Sporting Goods at Pershing, Regency Mall. Then it came over to Doobie's. We wouldn't let any of them in. The cop had to call for assistance. Officer Spaulding called for assistance to help clear it out. they didn't even try to come in, but they overtake the parking lot, they cause, disruption, in the neighborhood. Then they moved on, I think they went down the gateway. We deal with that stuff constantly because of having a large parking lot. The problems aren't in the bar, it's a public parking lot. We're dealing with it the best we can, but frankly, there's nothing else that we can do on our end, honestly. So whatever, things are put together by, the city attorney and, whatever else, I'm down with. But for now, we're doing what we can. It's the parking lot. It's a huge public parking lot.
That's why I asked the attorney's office, or Robin, some of the questions that I did.
Yeah, well, I was soaking it in. I was hoping to go right along with it. I didn't want to be disruptive when I was sitting.
What we're doing now is being reactive. We're waiting till the problem, it happens because of the large gathering crowd.
Right.
But apparently, we don't have enough tools to prevent that from
Well,
happening.
one of the other things too is, in a perfect world, what she was saying is, we'll just pick out the one or two disruptive people. It doesn't work that way.
But if they're running, not to cut you off, but if they're running from the park down to the south,
Right.
west
I mean,
side of town, what's the...
because even in general, if you have 100 people completely acting a fool, there's not 98 innocent people and 2 people running their mouths. It's usually 100 people running their mouths. You just get them all to move along, and if, the police department knows what it's like, they don't just move along. Then they call for more assistance, they do another cop call, and look, Doobie does another cop call for a public parking lot. I can never seem to win.
These are the roots of the problem.
Oh, I know.
Or root cause.
Like I said, whatever they end up deciding, I'm down with, but until that happens, what else am I supposed to do? Really?
Okay, I'll turn it over to the committee.
I have some questions. First question is for, I think, the city attorney. So what is I've gotten a lot of calls since the last meeting from some bar owners. So can you please clarify, what is the responsibility for the outside area? Is it truly up to the 250 feet?
So there is no distance listed in the ordinances of what they're responsible for or not. Frankly, some of our bars, like Doobie's, has a large parking lot that, they have more than 250 feet of parking lot. What we tell every business owner in Good Neighbors meetings, both after ordered by this committee and new applicants, is that you are responsible for diffusing situations as they occur. And if it gets out of hand, you need to call the City of Racine Police Department and participate with any investigation. We do not expect business owners to go take on crowds of 50 people by themselves. We do ask if people are getting at each other in the bar, that they diffuse that and get the people on their way. There are issues with, bar owners having these crowds every weekend or every Friday and Saturday or, often some weeknights that are constantly having people call the police on them. That's different than when there's kind of sporadic incidents in which the bar owner asks for help and has full cooperation with the police department. There's also kind of a concept that goes along with the lines of attractive nuisance. So if there are people who are going to hang out outside of the bar and the bar owner's not doing anything to clear them along, it's treated the same as if they're going into the bar because they're there because the party's there. Even some of our bars, hopefully all of our bars don't serve below 21. Some of our bars have higher ages than that. People will go, they don't get in, they hang out outside. It is on the bar owner and security to tell those people to move along. However, they're not police officers. They can't arrest people. They can't put their hands on people. They can't physically remove people. So there has to be kind of a balance between proactive kind of diffusion and getting people to move on their way and not allowing lines outside their door, and also, using the City of Racine Police Department appropriately and cooperating with that. So it's a balancing act. It is truly hard for a lot of businesses, but it is important because the police department does not have the staffing to be out at every single bar every single Friday and Saturday. So we do ask for a lot from our businesses to move people along, and we understand that there will be some bars on occasion that have issues that require police intervention.
Thank you. Next question is for you. Maybe I have this timeline mixed up, but there was a fight inside of your establishment?
When,
I'm not sure, I'm just asking.
has there ever been a fight in the establishment? Yeah. In 11 years? Yeah.
I meant this year, or within the last, maybe.
Yeah, I can add.
Back in January, that's why I
Yep.
was with the neighbors
Okay.
meeting.
Yes.
All right.
Which,
So
and
just
at that point,
making sure I
at
have
that
the
point, the
timeline.
recommendation was, the last thing I could reasonably do on my end was to pay for the off-duty uniformed police officer, which I've been doing since that meeting, every Friday and Saturday.
Okay. And then the one that's on our new licensed premise, was that a fight inside or outside?
What?
It says Saturday, July 18th, there was a fight, officers were dispatched in reference to a fight.
And there was no fight. There was no fight.
Okay.
No, it's someone called because of the large gathering outside, the police came, they cleared it out, they wrote no citations, and there was no fight. But it gets reported that way. Which is the other problem too, is it makes people hesitant to then call. I have employees that go, like, Kevin, you're not gonna be mad that I called. I'm like, no, you should always call if you feel the need to call. But the problem is when you call, and then there's no fight, but it's a large gathering, and then the police help disperse the crowd, but then after that happens time after time after time in my large, public parking lot, that's how I end up down here. And again, we're back to square one with how they let off the meeting tonight, talking about how we can address the situation for everybody, and that definitely affects me. Because I'm doing anything and everything I can reasonably right now. There's nothing more I can do without any more, cooperation from how it's gonna be handled by the police department or the city in general.
What time do you close?
At 1:30. And before I had the officer at the door, we were closing before 12 o'clock. The only reason why I extended my hours was because I was paying for a police officer to be at the door along with my security guys. The only reason why I extended it. And we've had very, very minimal problems inside the bar, and for that matter, minimal problems outside the bar, other than the nonsense of the large gatherings. Because it's hard to move them along. They all leave at the same time. Whether they all leave at 11:30 or 1:30, there's a lot of people.
So in reference to that, 18, so there was a fight that took place, there was an off-duty officer there?
Okay, that's a different one? Okay.
On the Saturday, July 18th, the one that's on this report.
Okay.
So there was a fight that took place, off-duty was there, they called it out. We arrived, parties were separated, and then, one of the individuals was cited for disorderly conduct.
Oh, okay, okay.
Then released, so.
Okay.
But yeah, there's documented that there was a fight, inside the tavern, and then it was brought out, separated,
Okay.
cited.
And that's with an officer 20 feet away when it happens. You know what I mean? So right away it gets broken up, someone gets cited and taken care of, and that's why you have an officer right there when, the times when something does happen in a bar.
Alderman Davis, any other questions?
No.
Alderman Kelly?
I don't have any other questions now.
Okay. Would you like to make any more?
No, but I'm sure they're gonna reach out to me, which I'm completely cool with. Well, once we get some stuff decided, like they were talking about earlier, I'm certainly a person that needs to be involved in that. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. And I'm looking forward to when that gets kind of put into place, and it'll be great for all of us to have a little bit more focus on exactly how things are gonna be handled. But until then, all I can keep doing is really what I'm doing right now, which is, there's really not much more I can do, to be honest. And the problems have been minimal. But, we gotta take care of the loitering and the nonsense and the whole takeover stuff that's going on, but we're obviously dealing with that, so.
And the quality of life in that area, because there are residential
Yep.
homes right
I'm
across
sure.
the street and right behind you.
Mhm.
Could the attorney's office explain what our options are? In terms of dealing with this particular problem, because it's more outside as opposed to being inside.
Are you asking for,
What remedies or solutions we have?
for the establishment? So,
Yes.
we met with, Mr. Dubiak, on the Good Neighbors meeting, and went over some of these things, and it sounds like he has put all of them into effect. We talked about, having more security, hiring an off-duty officer, being more proactive in the parking lot. And so I will note that the calls for service from this year to last year are lower after these things have went through. And the two call-ins here we are just down to issues in the parking lot, though I will say that there was that fight this year, my apologies, last week. So I would have to kind of cede to the police department. We are, working through as many of the things that we can think of. I don't know if the police department has more ideas that we could do, but typically the ones that we have suggested and that he has implemented have worked in the past.
Thank you. Officer Cruz.
So, like I mentioned, City Attorney Robin, she was here when she gave the demonstration. She's also doing something at roll call. I think a lot of the issues come with private property versus public property as far as what we can do in each. I think with the information that she might provide at tonight's roll call, maybe formulate something that we can do when it comes to situations like that. But like the attorney advised here, as far as the off-duty work in there and the issues that are happening inside the bar, not having that much besides that fight. Anytime we go out there, they are in compliance with, one, cooperating with us, which is something that we want. They're not in any violations when it comes to bartender or the Class B being posted. It's just trying to figure out what we can do with that parking lot. Formulate something that we can act within that parking lot.
Thank you very much. Yes, Alder Davis.
Question, the lighting in the parking lot, how is that? I'm not out at night.
It's fine.
It's bright?
Yeah. It's like literally a mall, light towers everywhere.
I just know.
Yeah, lighting's fine.
In the past, it used to be a little dark over there, so I hadn't been, I don't come out at night now. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
The security cameras are all legit. I mean, everything I can do on my end is legit, so.
I have questions for the police department. Do you guys have any sort of cameras over in that area that you could, somebody see what's going on?
No, there's city cameras throughout the city, but not directly there at Emerald Plaza.
That's not a terrible idea. No, I mean, really, there's a lot of light poles out there just to have, like, one of the city cameras over there. That wouldn't bother me in any, at all.
That's above my pay grade.
Careful what you wish for. I'm not saying let's all put spy cameras everywhere, but it would not be a terrible
They're
idea.
already there.
I'd say that wouldn't be a terrible idea in that huge parking lot.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a terrible idea.
Right.
Any other questions or concerns? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion at this time.
Could you explain the?
Sure.
Please.
So if the committee believes that the call-in was for a valid reason, the appropriate motion would be to receive and file. There can be a motion to require the licensed establishment agent to attend a Good Neighbors meeting, which he has already done successfully. There also is the option to rescind if you believe that he was called in error, or if there was no basis for the call-in. And the fourth would be to defer the item if the committee needed more information.
Motion to receive and file.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And I'll let either the attorney's office explain what that actually means, although we discovered it.
So I can explain briefly. Because we had that Good Neighbors meeting, you are on your official strike one, which is a warning. There is no prosecution. If there were to be a second call-in within 6 months or a third within a year, that would change. But as of right now, it's just an official warning.
Right. Then going forward though, just the whole stuff with the loitering and everything like that we were talking about earlier, is there some way to kind of keep us all in the loop on that stuff? I feel that the Racine Tavern and so forth is all over it. I'm gonna hear about it regardless, but it would still be nice to be in the loop with everybody. Like I said, I'm somebody that certainly affects.
Yeah, after, like I said, we speak with the city attorney, and we have something in play. If one day that I'm working, I can swing by and just be like, hey, this is what we're looking
Oh, yeah, no problem at all.
And then we'll.
I wanna be proactive and work with you guys. I don't want problems. I don't like being down there.
Or the off-duty, I can let the off-duty officer there know too, so.
And on my birthday, I'm waiting to leave. Are we good though, guys?
Yes, sir. So
Yep. Thanks,
you're
sir.
clear on the illegal side of
Yeah.
this? Okay.
Yep, I'll be
All right.
talking to you guys soon over, in regards to the stuff that's going around the crowd.
Sure.
All right, thank you, sir. Enjoy the rest of your birthday. Next, before we go to the next item, we need to go back to item 650-26. The deferred item.
Item
Thank you all.
050-2.
Appreciate your time. This was very nice.
Communication requesting the appearance of Ariania Ramirez for a new operator's license.
Move to defer.
Is there a second?
Second.
This is their first time applying, right? Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I don't have to tell you guys what happens at council about this. We've exhausted that part of the agenda. So our next item, please.
Item 0648-26, communication for the licensed premises report.
Colonel Cruz, you're up.
In reference to the report, we already mentioned the fight that we had at Doobie's. There was a citation that was issued. In reference to anything as far as enforcement that we took, on the 15th, Michigan Pub, we were there to assist another department in reference to some other stuff that they had going on. While there, they completed a licensed premise report, and then the bartender on scene did not have an operator's license, so that individual was cited, and the business was closed. Then, on the 26th, on Sunday, Select 627, there was a shot fired in the area. It was not related to Select 627 in reference to the shot fired. Due to that being in the area, officers went in to try and do a licensed premise check. We got a little bit of uncooperativeness from a party who was later identified as the husband of the agent, and then they did not have an bartender with an operator's license there. So that was also another enforcement action that was taken. But those are the two that were not in compliance as far as citation that was issued.
I guess I have a question. So, because you continue to have these uncooperative behavior, which is unfortunate when having a discussion here at committee, how does that work when you've already kind of got the last motion that was made at the council?
Yep, so that was made a week ago today. So we are going through all of the calls for service to determine what's a violation of our law, what we can prove, what we can directly link to the bar, what we can circumstantially link to the bar, and we are going through that as well. The committee can continue to call in on formal expressions of concern if they so wish. All that would do is bring them in and have them discuss abatement. So it is up to the committee whether they would like to do that or not, but we are in a prosecution mode on this one.
I mean, we're just repeating the same thing. At some point, there's a saying for that. So I guess if you could just keep the committee updated on that, it would be very appreciated.
Any other questions? Oh, I'm sorry, Cruz, were you finished?
Yeah, that was it.
Did you have any items that stuck out, other than the ones that we've already talked about?
No, Michigan Pub, I don't remember the last time we had a call for service there. Like I said, with them not having a bartender on scene, the citation was still issued. But that was the only, with them and Select had the only violations that we documented.
Okay. Okay, Pam, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve?
Tell us what we're approving and make sure it's for the public record.
Approving the licensed premise report?
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Our next item, please.
Item 0649-26, communication requesting any consideration, any formal expression of concern, or other actions pursuant to the police report.
Are there any, based on what we just covered?
No. Receive it, make motion to receive and
Second, is
file.
there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have exhausted our agenda.